Okay, what's up, people? Welcome back to another stream. Hope everyone is doing well. As always, guys, if you are enjoying the content, finding it useful, please be sure to drop a like on the stream. It really does help out. Subscribe to the channel already if you haven't done so already, but if you subscribe. And of course, hit the bell so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. Make sure you do check out the Elevating Traders Discord channel. The link to that is at the top of the chat. I have pinned it so you can't miss. Make sure you check that out. There'll be discount opportunities closer to launch date, which is fast upon us. Make sure you check that out. And of course, join in discussions with other traders as well. But good morning, everyone. Hope everyone's well. Tony, what is up? Hope you're doing good. Vincent, good morning. Hope you're well. William, good morning. Hope you're well. Anis, as always, hope you're doing good. Rick, what is up? Lepara, what is up? Welcome to the stream. Brian, what is up? Rashid, what is up? Antonio, good morning or good afternoon in your case. So yeah, guys, back for another trading week. We have seen some moves. Looks like the yen pair is a little bit excited today. Bit of a move to the downside. I'm wondering maybe if I've missed the boat on a couple of them. I think New Zealand yen, there's still hope for some opportunities to short this one. I'm looking at dollar yen, and that one's had a bit of a move to the downside. Dollar's been pretty weak as we've opened up for the week, which again is expected. I'm looking for a lot more weakness in the dollar, so I do think there's still opportunities coming our way regarding USD. I'm still looking for a move all the way back down to 101. If you haven't checked out the weekly analysis, make sure you go do so. But I've talked about push back down to 101, 108. 100.8 to this low here anyway, so I do still expect a lot more downside in the USD. As a result, a lot of the dollar crosses, I'm looking for upside for euro, for pound, downside for dollar CAD, downside for dollar CHF, although the only dollar pairs that I do want to trade will be euro USD and pound. Not so keen on like Aussie dollar or New Zealand dollar. They're kind of still a bit weird to me, at least in the higher time frames. But Euro USD looks pretty clear. Pound USD looks pretty clear. It's just whether or not I can find the entries I'm looking for. I have talked about some of these retests, but yeah, pretty big move. Hopefully, we might create some new structure along the way. Same with Euro USD retest of those highs. But we shall see. Anywho, hope everyone is doing good. Okay, we'll take a look at Aussie New Zealand dollar. Yeah, I had a nice weekend. Thank you for asking. Antonio, I hope you had a good weekend as well. Manny, what is up? Hope you're doing good. I'm doing well. Thank you. William still spent 165 on Euro Yen. To be honest, nice bounce back from support. I haven't actually looked at Euro Yen. So yeah, we had a bit of a down move for the yen pair. So it's a tricky one because we could sell off from here, or price may want to go and still hit 165 before we sell off. We have seen a bit of downside across the board for the yen pairs. Haven't really done anything crazy. Maybe dollar yen has given us the biggest move, and maybe Swiss yen as well. But again, it wouldn't be the craziest thing in the world to see another push higher up before maybe the bigger sell-off. And 165 still looks like a pretty attractive place for a sell anyway. So yeah, I think holding out for 165 makes a lot of sense. Of course, you don't want to just jump into the trade because you feel like you're going to miss out on the move. That's the worst possible situation. If you miss the move, you miss the move. As long as you wait for what you plan to do, and when it's there, you take the trade. That's all you can do at the end of the day. So 165 still looks good to me as well. It's just whether price has already decided it wants to fall. We have to wait and see for that. Again, if you're not already in the trade, then you kind of want price to pull back anyway, unless you're kind of on the lower time frames, and you could be looking at some minor structure here on the hourly chart, retest the 162. That could be a nice short intraday. But if you're looking for a swing, you want a bigger pullback anyway, unless you're already in the position. So I'm in the same boat as you. Although I like New Zealand yen a little bit more, just because it's coming to a really big low over there. Hopefully you can catch a retest around 90. It's not far away at all. I think seeing another push to the upside like that isn't such a big demand. So we'll have to wait and see, but it's a big possibility we could still to catch that opportunity. If we're going to take a look at Aussie, New Zealand dollar, I haven't really been keeping up to tabs with this pair, to be honest. So yeah, it's not really moving how I'd like it to. So of course, I'm not going to spend too much time on it myself. Whereas there's other pairs that look a lot more attractive. Did you say you have an opportunity you're looking at? You're still looking for a sell? Okay. I can definitely see where that idea is coming from, and it's not a bad one either. I like the fact that we've had this kind of corrected move higher. We've come back and do some structure, which we didn't retest when we originally broke through. We had some nice reaction previously, so yeah, this is not a bad place for a short. Now, I'm not so keen on a massive swing with Aussie New Zealand dollar just because the conditions are very choppy, so it's difficult to predict long-term swings because the price action is so choppy. So the best case scenario in these kind of circumstances is just to look for quick trades, or at least protect your trade quicker, just in case you see some nice momentum in your direction and then price finds support somewhere and then just reverses against you. At least maybe you'll break even or you're taking some partial off the table. In terms of the location for a short, we're in a nice one, we're in a very, very nice one. If you could see another push back into the high there at 1.104, that could make a lot of sense for a short up there. In this region, you can get a stop loss above the high. So protect yourself up there, and you can maybe catch a trade back into the low here, or maybe even a lot further. We could be coming back all the way here, but I would say maybe taking some partials or trading a stop loss, however you want to go about it, just to protect yourself, because we're probably going to see a choppy move down. It's probably not going to be just one clean move. But regardless, it's a nice place for a short. I like the momentum you saw here. Price had a pretty corrective pullback here. It's taking out some minor highs there too. So yeah, I think it's a smart place for a short. Just want to see price actually get to that level first. Stop loss above the high. And you should be looking pretty good there. Of course, let's see how we reject, because price might break straight through. That is a big possibility, but we could get there, see some nice rejections, see some nice wicks, and you can find some nice entries. So they're shorter term, I can get on board with. Okay, short term, yeah, makes sense. Just because, again, higher time frames, when they don't look clear to me, I only want to be looking at it through a short term lens, because the high time frames purpose for me anyway is to come up with a bias long term as to where the market's likely headed towards, and that becomes very easy to do if we've got a clear trend in the higher time frames. Say the daily or the weekly is trending up higher, and it looks like the market's putting another higher low, and you've got a good chance of going to get back to the high. So there's method there. Whereas this, we're just kind of seeing random moves really, so difficult to expect with this one. So in this case, short term makes the most sense. So yeah, not bad on the Aussie New Zealand dollar in terms of the area we're trading in. We'll keep an eye on these yen pairs to see if they push back one more time. I think they could do as well. Seen some rejection around here. I don't think it's such a big ask for another push up higher. Just have to play the waiting game. And Euro USD just about creates new highs this morning as well. So it's still very bullish, but I do think Euro still got a long way to go. Yadish, good morning, hope you're well. GJ looking bullish and UJ looking bearish on flour. What's up, Chris? I'm doing good. Yes, I did have a good weekend. Thank you for asking. Hope everything is well with you too. Had a good weekend and all. In terms of pound yen looking bullish and UJ looking bearish, so I assume you're talking about either the last candlestick closure or maybe the past prior couple of weeks in terms of we pushed up here, so we're looking bullish, because it depends how you're viewing the market. Maybe you're talking about the last candle, I'm not too sure. But again, the bias for UJ and GJ is very much the same for me, looking for a high for a move down. So in my eyes, they're all kind of bearish. UJ and GJ are still bearish to me. Despite the moves we've had this week, we've come into this area where prices find it really hard to break through. Nice sell-off this morning. I've talked about this area here as well, which is still pretty far away. But again, I'm looking for GJ to find a high and fall. UJ, same thing as well, find a high and fall, and both looking for a swing back to the swing low. So they're both bearish to me. Maybe one's a little bit more bearish or slightly more bullish than the other. But the idea of what I want to do with the pair is short. And that pretty much goes for all of the yen pairs. Again, I'm not looking to short all of them. I'm just looking to pick the best one. So far, I like New Zealand the best at the moment. But we'll see how things develop. Just because NJ's got the clearest and cleanest level. So that's what I like on the most. But yeah, GJ, I would still expect to see downside at some point. Same with UJ as well. Maybe, I don't know, maybe dollar yen will be a bit more bearish because I'm very bearish on USD. So maybe USD is going to be weaker than the pound because I'm expecting pound USD to keep pushing hard to the upside. So if that bias is correct, then USD probably will be weaker in general than pound. So you probably will get a bit more success with a bearish move on UJ than GJ. But I expect them to do similar things. Let me have a quick look at the Japanese index whilst we're on the topic. One too many twos there. Okay, so this one hasn't actually seen much downside. We saw a bit of a bearish candle there this morning, but it hasn't actually done much. I was expecting to see a bit of a drop there because all the yen pairs had a bit of a move down, so that's a bit surprising. But yeah, we're in an area where we're going to see some bearish behavior come into play because you can see price stalled here quite well for a few days and then eventually big moves to the downside. So we had a lot of bearish momentum from this specific area. And as we come into the area, we're seeing some rejection of these wicks. This probably is going to be a bit of a reaction. Now, is that reaction going to take us back to the low all the way here? Maybe. Is it just going to be, a reaction in terms of maybe we push down halfway or a third of the way and push back up again? That could be the case as well. I think because we had such a sharp recovery, I'm kind of leaning towards this idea rather than a big swing back to the low. But I do think we'll probably see a move to the downside at some point anyway, which could be a good move to trade. It just might mean we don't get back to the low. We end up forming a high low somewhere and push up, which could still be a really great trade to look out for as well. I don't think we get back down to the low here just because this reaction was so aggressive. I think it'll be a big ask to expect the Japanese index to fall back to the low. I think we'll probably do something like this, which might mean for the yen pairs, push down, double bottom, and then push up maybe. We'll see. But I'm still interested in the sells. It's just I'm not expecting them to continue too far. So hopefully we'll see what happens there with Japanese index. Of course, I do keep an eye in terms of the Japanese pairs, what they're doing, but it's more just me keeping an eye rather than like a box to tick in my trading plan, if that makes sense. So hopefully, what's up, Lauda? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Good morning. Good morning. Hello, Emmy. My mic is off. Is my mic off? There's no way my mic is off. I've just been talking to myself the past 18 minutes and no one said anything. What's up, Manzoli? Can I just get some confirmation if my mic is functioning? No, it's not. Okay, thank you, Laura. Yeah, I mean, that might be your end. It might be your end with the mic. Okay, cheers, Vincent. Yeah, it might be your end. So yeah, with the yen pairs, do expect to see some downside. Yes, okay, thank you guys, thank you. Okay, cheers, Brian. So yeah, with the yen pairs, we do expect to see some downside, but yeah, looking at the index, it might mean it's only kind of temporary before a bigger move higher. Because again, with the indices, they're all still very bullish longer term. The Japanese index included. So I do think there's a good chance we do get back to highs at some point, And of course, if the Japanese index does push up higher, so do the yen pairs, because yen's going to be weak. So yeah, that might push these guys up a little bit higher, but we'll see. I'm still short bias for now. It may just mean that I catch a reaction for maybe a day or two, and then the price reverses against me. As long as I can trail my stop loss, I'm a happy guy. And then best case scenario, I could be wrong. Maybe the Japanese index does fall again, and that could mean a really nice trade for me. So we'll see. Again, trading is all about probabilities. You never really want to try and expect or predict what the market's going to do, because you drive yourself crazy. Just you want to have that probability mindset, which is difficult to have, but once you work on it, you eventually start to adopt similar thinking to that, and you just want to make sure you're always trading in favor of quality opportunities, making sure probability is in your favor, and then you let the market do the rest. So yeah, that's kind of my take on the yen pairs for now. The sound is not as usual. I have the same Yeti mic, and it does that sometimes, because it sounds like you're talking in a larger room. Oh, really? I mean, the room is pretty empty, apart from the piano. Yeah, I mean, I'm not too sure about that, to be honest, because I haven't changed the mic since last week, or done anything to it, or at least I don't think I have. I don't know, maybe I need to get one of those microphone, I don't know what the name is, but the hood you put on the mic. I don't know if that will help. Any yen news? I've actually checked the news for the week, actually. That has reminded me. Okay, let me see. Okay, Monday, not really much going on Monday. Pretty smooth day today. Tuesday, nothing really for the yen. You have CPI for euro though, and CPI for CAD. Wednesday, balance of trade for yen, so that might cause a bit of movement. FMC minutes in the afternoon on Wednesday, that would be interesting for USD. And then Thursday, not much for the yen, but we do a bit of PMI for Aussie, PMI for pound, jobless claims. Okay, Friday morning we've got inflation rate for yen, which is expected to increase from 2.8 to 2.9. So Friday will be interesting for yen. But other than that, nothing too crazy. Open ambience, troubleshoot your setup. Okay. I don't know how to do that, but I'll probably find a YouTube video on how to do that. I'm not very techie guy, so all I do is plug stuff in, and that's about it really. So in terms of the settings and stuff, I definitely need some help there. But yeah, okay, I'll go and test things out and compare from my previous streams as well, because yeah, from my point of view, I haven't changed the mic at all. Maybe I've done something accidentally, but I'll check that. I don't know if maybe. Yeah, I don't want to mess with the mic just because I might do something that I can't undo, and I don't want to do it during the stream either. Okay, voice still picked up the mic, still hear me, just not as clear. Okay. Okay, so yeah, I mean, for the stream now, hopefully we'll just survive the stream, and then I'll try and sort it out for next stream, because I don't want to do anything just because I might mess it up, and then yeah, I might be on mute for the rest of the stream, which will not be great. As long as it's doable. Lauder, yes, I'll take a look at pound NZD. No problemo. Just unplug and replug again. Okay. Okay. That's me unplugging and replugging. But yeah, I'll sort it out after the stream because I don't want to do anything that that messes it up. Anywho, pound NZD, we'll take a look. Okay, no big deal. Yeah, we can hear you fine. Okay. Yeah, well, I'll sort it out after for tomorrow. Dollar CHF, we'll take a look as well. It's good now. Would you look at that? Just switch, taking it out, unplugging it and plugging it in, it makes it better. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Okay, let's get back to the analysis then. The mic was stealing the show for a bit. Okay, so pound NZD. So yeah, this one's been a bit awkward. I'm still looking for a big move to the downside, so I'm still very, very bearish. We've come up to some really nice heights on the higher time frames, particularly this wick over here. This was from COVID, and we just about spiked into that same area. So I do think from here, we're probably going to see a really big move to the downside soon come for pound NZD. So I'm only going to be looking for shorts. This is a really nice area from a swing perspective because if we don't break through this, then there's a chance we're going to have a really big move. And I wouldn't be surprised if we eventually come back to some of these prices. Of course, we're not going to speak too much about that because that could take us a few months to get there. And I don't think anyone's going to look to hold a trade for that long. So in terms of the here and now, I am looking for something like this to happen for a short opportunity. This might take a while to develop because I want to see the break of structure first, then the pullback, then the retest, then the short. So that's going to take some time to develop. But yeah, I'm just because originally my plan last week was looking for the retest of this area here, but then we had the NZD interest rate decision, which caused this massive move here, which made things really awkward to short. Because for me, when I do take a trade, there's two things I'm looking at. It's how price got to my level and then how price reacts at my level. Both of those components are very, very important. And if it just kind of rockets to my level like this, it's definitely after a range, not normally a good sign. Normally it does mean that price wants to continue high, and it did, just not for long. So I did hold back from taking a trade there, but I'm still looking at this as a high, lower low, lower high, lower low, possibly the next lower high. So what I want to see is price continue its bearish journey. Then I'll look for the next correction afterwards, because again, if I'm right and the market is going to have a massive sell-off, I don't need to catch the top or the second high, the third high, because the market's going to pull back numerous times on the way down. And I do think the next major targets will probably be around here, where we had a massive pause in the market and a really big breakout, and we haven't come back to retest that same area. So that's where I'm looking for pound NZD to end up next. And a lot further as well. But for now, we'll just talk about 2.095. So if you can find some shorts for pound NZD, I think you'll be in a really nice place or situation to do so. It's just about finding a good entry. For me, this looks good. Maybe we might see a double top form and then another sell-off. So I would suggest maybe keep an eye out for that. But for me, this looks like the next best opportunity. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with pound NZD. Let me know your bias and what you're looking to do with it. Okay. Rick, we'll take a look at pound CHF, euro CHF, dollar CHF. We'll take a look, go for a bunch of CHF pairs. Pound NZD similar to USD, yes, very, very similar pair. Of course, they do share the New Zealand currency, and of course, pound and euro are very similar to each other as well. So they're going to be making similar moves most of the time. So that's why it's sometimes good to keep an eye out on euro NZD if you're trading pound NZD and vice versa. Structure's not clear yet for pound NZD. 4 hour, I can see what price is trying to do, but yeah, in here it's a little bit choppy, so I'll wait for that next low to go. If that next low can break, that will tell me that okay, the market is likely to continue heading south. Dollar CHF. Now, dollar CHF, I think we still got a long way to go for this one. I'm looking for a push into these lows here. This is where I was expecting the market to come and test before we did see some upside, but we kind of missed it by a few pips, and price did see some upside. But I think all is well because the market is most likely just forming a top just before it continues its bearish path. So I like dollar CHF to the downside. I'm very bearish on USD as well. So in terms of confluence, it lines up pretty well. The market has been so consistent with these lower highs, and it looks to me that the market is probably printed this next one. So a lower high there, another one there, another one there, another one there, and again, probably the next one there as well. I like the fact that we had such a strong move higher up here, and all it did was just kind of sluggishly roll over. It kind of tells me that even though we had so much bullish momentum, it didn't really add up to anything because the market just falls straight over. So the likelihood of us continuing higher is pretty low, and we probably will just break lower and then continue back to that massive daily support. So if you're looking for opportunities with dollar CHF, I would only be looking for shorts. And in terms of a trade idea, I think a break and retest of this low adds up very nicely. So if we were to see something like this could end up being a really nice opportunity. Even if we have another retest of the high there, I think that's a really nice place for a short as well. Stop loss above the high, that could be a really nice trade. I have talked about retests of some of these areas, but I'm not too sure we're going to get there anymore. I mean, if we do, fantastic. That could be a really nice place for a sell. But yeah, I don't think we'll make a move there. Maybe a double top is probably the best you'll see, unless we just get a break and retest of the low. But yeah, I'm expecting the market to come back into this swing point, then eventually the daily level underneath us. So yeah, very, very bearish on dollar CHF. Very bearish on dollar CHF. So only interest in shorts. In terms of the other CHF pairs, so pound CHF, this one's still racking its head on a nice low. I think this is still a decent short opportunity to look out for. The only thing I don't like is that we're consolidating at that area. I was keeping an eye on this one this morning, and I do like the shorts from this one, but the fact that we're moving sideways makes things a bit more 50-50. If we were throwing a bit more aggressive wicks to the upside, I would like it a lot more, but the fact is we just saw a decent wick to the downside there, which I don't like. We did see some nice wicks to the upside there, which was great. Nothing crazy, but a start. And then we formed a bit of a wick to the downside this morning. I didn't like that. So what I want to see from pound CHF is a bit of a fake out to the upside and then leave a wick on the 4 hour. That could then be a really nice entry signal because there'll be a battle between the buyers and sellers here. There'll be stops above the high, stops below the low, just seeing who's gonna give way. And the best way to kind of tell is to see if we can get a fake out to the upside and then use that to your advantage. That could be your entry, stops above the high, and then maybe we catch a nice breakout to the downside. So if pound CHF can give me a bit of a fake out, because we are ranging really, so it's 50-50. I don't want to just short it now. But if you do have a bit of a wick to the upside, I know that, okay, we've taken out some highs. The market is now more likely to break lower. Now that could be a good time to find an entry. And I mean, best case scenario, the market reacts with this low and we sell off back to this low. So in terms of the risk to reward, it's very, very high, should you catch a really nice swing. So I like pound CHF because of the potential, and I like it of where we're trading at. I just need to see a bit more rejection on the 4 hour and the hour if I'm going to find an entry. If we kind of stay in this mess and just move sideways without any meaningful price action, then yeah, I'll stay on the sidelines. But if you can give me a wick somewhere, I could use that to my advantage. But at the moment, it's just a lot of sidewaysness, if that makes sense. So yeah, pound CHF trading at a nice area. Shorts look good. Just need to see something that tells me, okay, prices put the top in. We're probably going to fall now. Not seeing that just yet, and especially with the wick we had there, that's not a good sign either. So I need to see some development there, but we're in a good location. And in terms of Euro Swiss, it's the one I was shorting last week. I don't like this one as much anymore because, again, the idea was looking to short off that low, which we did see a nice reaction initially, but then the market went in and broke through the area. I did touch briefly on this area here as well, which the markets kind of broke through as well too. So pound Euro CHF just doesn't look as good anymore, especially when you got pound CHF, which is a very similar pair to Euro CHF. This looks like a far better short opportunity. You know, we're back at a major low. There was so much momentum in the previous leg. We're consolidating at that area there now. So pound CHF looks so much better. So I wouldn't really just waste my time with Euro because, again, they kind of move the same way. If pound CHF falls, Euro CHF is going to fall too. Might as well just focus on pound CHF, which looks like an opportunity is warming up there. So yeah, with Euro, again, we could see some downside as we come into this area here. And this is the low we had where price consolidated and we broke through. We're struggling there as well. We might double top it and see some downsides. But I think pound CHF is just a clean opportunity. So I would focus my efforts there. But yeah, Euro CHF, I think we can see a move down as well. But yeah, for the CHF pairs, it's a similar situation with the yen pairs as well. You know, we've had crazy moves down not long ago, and now we're having pullbacks of that. So again, looking for a top to form for a move down is still very much the plan. No problem, Lauder. Happy to help. Yes, I'll take a look at Euro USD as well. I'm still here and there with pound NZD, but I like the pants. I'm trying to keep up. Okay, if it's moving to the right directions. Okay, fair. I mean, that's all you can do as a trader. Keep up to date with the price action and wait for the opportunity to come to you. Not trying to force it. Not trying to put your bias or put a a scenario forward of what the market has to do, just waiting for it to come to you. And like myself, if the market does something like this, then I'll be interested. Anything else, I'm not really interested with pound NZD. I like the pair as well. It does have its times where it does chop a little bit, but it has a lot of pips and it can move very, very quickly in a short space of time. So, if you catch it right, you can really catch it right, pound NZD. Okay, so Euro USD. This one I do see a lot more upside too. I'm very bearish on the DXY, so I do think we're just going to see the dollar keep falling this week. And I think as a result, we'll see Euro keep rising. This is where I'm looking for Euro USD to head into next, which is 1.113. We'll leave it back at that high. So I'm looking for trades in that direction back to that high. Last week, I was talking about the retest of the high here, which we unfortunately just missed out on. As you can see there, missed out there by probably like a few pips there, unfortunately. I mean, even if it did test, it didn't really give me much of an entry signal anyway. But yeah, it was a close call. And now that we just about pinched the high there as well. So what I can see pretty clear is the market's creating higher highs and higher lows for Euro. So as long as we keep respecting these higher lows, I'm expecting the market to push higher. So at the moment, I've got three areas which I would look to buy Euro from. This level here still won 1.0947. That was the area from last week. This high here as well, I wouldn't mind looking to long from. And this high here as well, I wouldn't mind looking to long from as well if we have a nice break of it, a retest and a continuation. But either one of these areas could be the level that sends us bullish. So I'm going to keep an eye on all three, 1.103, 1.100, and 1.094. And yeah, I mean, I'm very bullish on Euro. So any kind of meaningful pullback, I'm looking to get involved with. Of course, as long as it ticks the plan and I see the necessary entry signals I'm looking for, I'm not going to just buy it just because I'm bullish. I'm going to buy it because it's a good opportunity. But yeah, those are the three areas I'm considering. Of course, we haven't broken through the high yet, so this one isn't valid just yet. But if we get a pullback to this area or that area, I'm looking for the buy. As long as we don't break through this low now, because this low has just pinched the high, so I don't want it to do something like this. If euro does something like that, then that does invalidate the bullish setup. We might still head higher, but it might be we put a bit of a bearish trend in first before we push higher. So I don't want to see a break of structure here. As long as we don't do that this week, I'm looking for buys. And then possibly we could be seeing a bigger swing all the way back to the high there as well at 1.12435, which could be a story for another day. But yeah, in my book, euro is looking very bullish. Even look at the weekly candle there. Really nice candle closure. Really nice candle closure. So there's a good chance that momentum will spill into the next week, which is this week. And hopefully maybe you can take out that wick high there. So that is the plan there for Euro USD. Let me know what you guys are looking at for Euro as well. No problem, Rick. Happy to help. On the 4-hour time frame, possible strong reversal on the 4-hour and silver. Okay. With silver, I'm very, very scared to sell it because of what gold is doing. Gold and silver are very, very similar and they tend to move the same way. So if I'm shorting silver, I kind of want to be in a situation where I can short gold. It doesn't have to be a clear-cut short opportunity, but it just means that gold kind of makes sense to see some downside. Gold does make some sense to see some downside purely out of retracement because we've just taken out some major highs here on the left. So you would expect to see some retracement after, but gold is very bullish. So I think for silver, we might see some downside because of where we're coming into. This is the high that did give us a lower low down here. So naturally, we're going to see some sellers stepping into the market, maybe some buyers down here. We're looking to take profit. If you've bought down here and price is now back at resistance, kind of makes sense to take some profit as well. So you might have that to contend with. So we might see a bit of a down move. I do think the bigger move is still to the upside for silver. And if I do see something like this week, I'll be looking for longs, maybe on the retest of the high as well. So yeah, for silver, I like the fact that we were rejecting that high and we're doing a pretty good job at it on the 4-hour. But I don't think we're going to have such a big sell-off this week. I think maybe to retest some structure here and then for price to continue higher. So if you're looking at silver shorts, I think it's a decent opportunity because of where we're trading at. You don't really want to be looking for buys here anyway. So sells is your main bet. But as we start approaching some of these areas, I would start to become a little bit more cautious because this is where buyers will be coming back into the market. So it might make sense protect your trade, partial out, or trade a stop loss, however you want to manage it. But be aware that we could still be seeing a bigger reaction. Because on the higher time frames, I'm still very bullish on silver, especially with the weekly candle as well. Look how last week's candle closed. Really nice bullish engulfing after a nice piercing wick to the downside in the previous wick here. After we came back into this low, had a big drive to the upside, big corrective pullback. Now another shift of momentum. I'm kind of expecting silver to break high in the near future. And I think this is going to be the next low. So I'm looking for price to come back into the highs up there. So any shorts I see for silver, I'm expecting just maybe for a day or two, and then eventually we see the bigger move happen to the upside at a later date. And if you look at gold situation, gold had a really nice close on the weekly chart, really nice close there. Daily as well, really nice close. We've broken through the resistance here, left that in the dust. Now that's going to become a nice level of support. So now I'll be focused on the buys for gold, which I do expect to see retracement initially. So that might help out some downside in silver. But I do think gold is going to push higher. So That's a long way to answer your question, but yeah, I think we might see some downside for silver, but I don't expect it to last for too long. USDC Chef is a sell. I do agree, no problem. Chris, happy to help. I do think USDC Chef is a sell. I just briefly went over that one. I do think we'll sell off. I said every test of the high looks good, or if you do see a nice break and we test the low, I think that's just as good of an opportunity as well. And then you've got a lovely swing low to aim for there as well. So I do think dollar CHF shorts look good. Not now though. I wouldn't sell it now because we just come back into support and we just rejected it pretty well too. So I would definitely avoid selling the market right now. You don't really have a good place to put your stop loss as well. So it doesn't make much sense looking to sell it now, but after some development could look good. Could look good. But even with gold and silver, with the bearish bias on USD, because if dollar keeps falling, then we should see theoretically a bullish gold and a bullish silver too. And with the indices as well, we should see bullish indices too. We should see US 30, NAS, S&P all push higher too. And I think even just looking at the price action with S&P, with NAS, with US 30, they already look bullish regardless. Really impressive close last week for S&P. As you can see, big wick rejection to the downside. Now we've got a very confident bullish candle closure there. I think it's pretty high chance that we do push back into the high now. So if you're looking for opportunities regarding the indices this week, I would only be looking for buys. I understand, again, similar to silver, we are trading at major resistance. Now is definitely not the time to buy, of course not, but I would only be expecting the market to push higher. So if we do see some downside, I'll be viewing that as an opportunity to find some buys later on for the market to push higher, or we may break through and use that as a retest. The market has an infinite number of possibilities or scenarios it could shape into, but all I know is that the likelihood of the market pushing higher is very high. Probably going to take out this high at some point very, very soon. So if I'm trading in that direction, at least I know I've got the wind in my sails and then put myself in a good situation to come out with a winning trade. So S&P likely to push higher, Dow Jones likely to push higher, NAS likely to push higher too. Maybe not from current price. We're trading at resistance here. But even if we do take a dive this week, I think a higher low is just going to fall. So yeah, that's where I'm at with the indices as well. I think we're just very much in a climate where we're going to see indices go up higher. We're going to see gold and silver go up higher. We're going to see bearishness on the dollar. We're going to see euro and pound go higher as well. That's very much the mindset I'm in right now. I guess just be retracement for silver and then it continues. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. Again, we could be wrong. Which is why we have a stop loss when we trade and why we manage our risks. So nothing's 100%, but all arrows are pointing to that right now, in my view. So that's kind of what I'll bet on. Silver, again, there's nothing wrong looking for short-term opportunities as well. If you're looking for shorts in silver, it's a nice place for a short. So if that's the trade you're after, go for it. But yeah, just have it in your mind that it's probably not going to go too far. If it does, you can always leave some positions to run, just in case we do continue to fall. But I'll be keeping an eye on the buys, especially if we get the break of this, because that will be a break of structure to me. Because this will last lower high, lower low. If we do that, that's a clean break of structure. Then I'm expecting price to push on. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with gold and silver. SR, can you look at Aussie CAD? Of course, not really the biggest fan of Aussie CAD, I must say. Let me know your bias on Aussie CAD, what you're looking to do with that currency pair. I mean, we had a pretty strong close on the weekly chart. Kind of looks like the market is trying to form another higher low. So we've got one low there, another one there. Is this another one potentially? So it does look like the market's trying to form another higher low and possibly working its way towards maybe a pushback to the high over here. I do like the weekly candle closure, really nice shift of momentum, especially after these wicks to the downside. So I think there's a good possibility we'll see that move. It's just why I'm less confident with this is just because, what is this condition? A lot of sideways movement. It's not like we have a long-standing uptrend like we do with the indices. So I know that just in terms of probability, we're likely to continue higher anyway. Aussie CAD has been flat for a long time, so it's difficult to find really good opportunities with this one. But yeah, momentum is definitely with the bulls. I think if you're looking for short-term trades with Aussie CAD, you're in a good place because we're creating nice higher highs and higher lows on the 4 hour. Lovely low there, high, higher low, high, higher low. Now that we snap the high again, this could now become a really nice place for a retest and then another buy. I feel like that could be a really nice opportunity there for Aussie CAD, just for the day or for a couple of days, and then you call it a day with the trade. Maybe we are pushing back to the high there. So again, maybe you can leave some positions to run. Maybe we pick up pace to the high there. That could make sense. Even this brief period of consolidation could be a nice place for a buy. It just depends how we get there and how we react. But that to me looks like price is gearing up for a push higher. And let's say if we do pull back from here, let's say we put a high in and we pull back, that could be a really nice target to have. And then maybe leave some positions to run if we do continue. But that's the best I've got for Aussie CAD, just because higher time frames are not particularly clear. But we can still take advantage of the momentum we see in this part of the market. It's just question marks of how far that's going to run. And again, my analysis was pretty similar on the Aussie dollar as well, because again, you can see the price action is very, very similar. Market's creating these higher highs and higher lows. We're looking for that to sustain. How far we're going to go, I do not know. But what I can say is some breaking retest of these levels could be good for the short term. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. And again, when pairs are not clear on the higher time frames, I just keep it to the short term view. Pairs that are clear on the higher time frames, for example, like pound USD, I'll be looking for pound USD to try and swing and be a bit more aggressive with the trade, because I understand what the higher time frames are likely to do. Doesn't mean I'll be correct all the time, of course not. But if I can see that a lot of arrows are pointing to the same direction, then it means I can be a bit more aggressive with that trade, maybe give it a bit more room with the trail stop loss, because I understand that there's a big possibility we could be going further. Friday move in GU was it was a really good move. I mean, it made the weekly candle close very, very confidently bullish. It looked like we just had a nice break and retest off this area here. So as you can see, the weekly chart was using this as resistance a lot with all of these wicks, all the wicks there. Now we flipped that and used that as support, and we're getting wicks to the opposite direction. So this to me just looks like clear break and retest of support and resistance. So I'm now expecting price to move back into the high there. Of course, this here is our first target, but we're almost there anyway. But 1.31 is where I do see pound USD heading towards. So something like this, where high time frames are a bit more clear, I can see there's a bit of a trend here of pounds, not the clearest one, but you can see price is kind of fighting higher here. We have pretty consistent higher lows for a period of time. We've got the higher low here, you've got the higher low there, you've got the higher low there, so on and so forth. So there is a direction there with pound. Not the best, but there is. And especially with last week's close as well, shows me momentum has picked up too. So I do think pound's just likely going to push for the next week or two. So this means if we do get some pullbacks for pound, I will be very, very excited to trade it. This is the opportunity I mentioned last week, but we've kind of pushed on quite a lot. Do we see a pullback that far? I'm not sure. I can maybe consider the high over here, around 1.29. That could also be an area of interest, but yeah, in terms of the direction, in terms of the plan, it's pretty straightforward with pound USD. SR sell, is that for Aussie CAD? You looking to sell Aussie CAD? I mean, of course, I don't want to talk you out of an opportunity. That's the last thing I want to do, especially if someone's got a plan in place and they're looking to take a trade. Of course, I'm not going to always agree with you, and that's expected. So if that's the case, still take the trades. Worst case scenario, you take a loss as long as the loss is managed and it's an educated trade. You had a plan for it. You wait for the plan to develop. Wait for the setup to develop. You took the entry. Then do what you need to do. For Aussie CAD, I wouldn't really be looking for sells because there's not much there to work with in terms of a solid level or solid market structure. So if you see a good sell, take the sell because even if it's a horrible trade or whatever, you can always learn from it when you review your trades later on. But yeah, I'll only be focusing on buys for Aussie CAD for now, just because we've got a lot of bullish momentum developing. So I'll kind of just look to take advantage of that momentum. But otherwise, I'm not seeing much in Aussie CAD or most of the CAD pairs for that matter. But yeah, pound USD looks the cleanest to me. I'll go through my watch list. And again, my watch list has barely changed for the past 3 weeks, I want to say. It's been very, very much the same. In terms of the yen pairs, looking for another lower high, looking for a short. New Zealand yen looks the best, so I'm kind of just waiting for that one to develop. We'll be moving in this ascending channel, and I just want to see another push back to the higher end of it, and then I'll take my entries at the high, 90.130. This is what I'm looking to get involved with and retest of this low here. So that's the plan with New Zealand yen. I will be trading a stop loss, so it's not like I'm just going to aim for this low outright, but I'll see what I can do. In terms of the dollar pairs, Euro USD looks like a good buy, so I'm just waiting for a break and retest. Either one of these three opportunities is what I'm after. Either a break and retest of the high, a break and retest of this high, or this high. We'll see what the market gives me. Pound USD, likewise as well, looking for a pullback to roughly 1.288. And I'm expecting a move back to the swing high here, and then eventually 1.31. So very bullish from pound. Dollar CAD I do like, but it's going to have to pull back to here for me to get a trade. And I don't think I see pound USD CAD pulling back that far this week, because the idea behind the trade is that we had a massive rejection at the high here, as we can see. So a lot of rejection as we come into the high, big weekly bearish engulfing from 2 weeks ago. I do think the market is just going to end up back at this low at some point. So my idea, the plan is to kind of trade the range back to the low here. We've already got the big rejection. We've already got the shift in momentum. So we're just going to likely spill into that level at some point. So if I can find a pullback somewhere, find an entry, hopefully take advantage of that. And this would be a nice place to do it, but we might kind of just roll over like this. If that's the case, I'm not really interested in it anyway. But if we do pull back, something like that would look good. Gold, I do like the breaking test of this area here. So gold is now back on the watch list. Whilst it was underneath the level, kind of messing around here, I wasn't interested, but really, really solid breakout last week. Nice close on the weekly, nice close on the daily. There's a strong chance that the market is likely going to push higher. So if I can find a retest of this high here at 24.80, I'll be more than happy to take some buys and ride gold higher. Silver's not on the watch list, but it can be added if it does break the high like this. Then I will look for the next pullback after. So silver could be added to the watch list this week, but not at the moment if it stays below that high. No real CAD pairs on the watch list. Again, it's not that I don't see opportunities, it's just I don't see any really, really good ones at the moment. USD, again, I like USD. It's just got to do a lot in terms of break the support level. Then I'll add it to the watch list because it may just reject the low and push up higher, which I'm not really interested in. If it can go and break the low, fantastic. I'm looking at some pullbacks and some shorts. that would be my opportunity. This to me looks like a big head and shoulder pattern. If the left, the head, and the right, of course, that will be your neckline. Pound NZD I like as well, but it's got to do a lot to develop. Euro Aussie, likewise as well. This one needs to push a little bit further. Then I'd be interested in some retest. Again, Euro NZD, Pound NZD, Pound Aussie, and Euro Aussie, very, very similar pairs, all looking for a big move down. Just waiting for them to kind of clean up in terms of the opportunities. Euro Pound, I'm not interested in. Aussie, New Zealand dollar, I'm not interested in. And yeah, Pound CGF, if I get a nice little fake out, I'll look to take a trade because it's coming to a very nice low. It's consolidating right underneath it. So clearly sellers are doing an okay job. It's just I need to find something that triggers me into the trade. A nice fake out would do that. So if we could leave a nice wick higher up like that, come back down, I'll use that as my entry. But the thing is, we just put a wick to the downside, which means that the market is likely to break higher at the moment. So I need that to change. And if it does, I'll find an entry to short. So I've got about 7 pairs on the watch list, give or take. Some might be added, like silver or Euro NZD. Some might be taken away if I don't get the pullback I'm after, like pound, maybe if that keeps flying. But yeah, that's the watch list for now. Nothing right now in terms of finding an entry. As in, apart from pound CGF. Yeah. But hopefully I can be looking to add US30 to the watch list very, very soon because I've been doing my testing with that one. So far going pretty well. So hopefully be adding US30 soon and maybe some other indices as well. That was for USD CAD, Aussie CAD, sell for Aussie CAD. Yeah. Like I said, if you're looking to sell Aussie CAD, have at it. As I said, I don't really see the sell for that one. I mean, maybe from a point of view of a retracement, I feel like we probably are going to see a sell from that perspective. But I feel like the bigger move is to the upside, so I'd rather be looking for buys. Pull back to there will look good, 91054, or maybe this range here. But the thing with the sells, like, where am I selling from? I don't really have a concrete level to sell from. Therefore, it becomes difficult for me because the type of trader I am, I'm always looking to sell from resistance or buy from support. I've always traded like that. That's always been my way to trade. That's how I started right in the beginning. I've kept that throughout my trading career. So resistance and support is very much my thing. So if there isn't a clear-cut level to sell or buy from, then it's not a trade that fits the plan. I know that you can look at other things, supply and demand, many other things to take a trade from, but support resistance has always been the thing I've worked with, so I've got a lot of experience in that domain. And again, there's the support resistance everywhere. You can, if you're looking hard enough, you will find the level, but it has to be a meaningful one. It has to be of some significance. Otherwise, you can just sell and buy anywhere you want in the market, which isn't really helpful. Because you want something that limits your opportunities and gives you good ones rather than just allows you to trade wherever. That is not ideal at all. Is anyone in any positions at the moment? I think there were some people holding some gold trades from last week. But yeah, gold was a little bit funny because we had, what was it? Was it CPI last week or I can't remember what we had last week. I don't know if it was CPI, but we had some news. It was jobless claims, wasn't it? We had some news that caused a big move down there for gold, and then gold rallied after, which is a bit of a weird move. Because jobless claims doesn't really cause too much movement to the market, but it did stir up some feathers actually. I don't know, maybe we're going to see a comeback of jobless claims. Because there has been times where jobless claims does move the market quite a lot, but for the past few years, it hasn't really done much. So I don't really focus on that news too much. But I don't know, maybe it's going to have a bit more of an impact. We'll have to wait and see. Antonio Silva. Yeah, as I said for Silva, I'm looking for buys, but I need to see that high break, and then I'll look for buys after. There might be some short-term sells from the high here, which I've mentioned before, but it's nothing I'm really interested in. I mean, from a higher time frame standpoint, I do think Silva is just going to make another swing back to the high. This to me looks like the next higher low, so I'm expecting a push back to the high. You can see how the weekly candle closed, really nice bullish engulf. I think there's a good chance that this week's candle is going to be bullish as well, and we're going to see a push higher. So where could that end up? Back at resistance. That's what, maybe not this week alone, as in this week's going to take us back to the high there. I don't expect that to happen. But I think in the next maybe 2 or 3 weeks, that's probably where we could be trading if everything goes well. So yeah, I'm looking for buys in silver. And if it can take up that high there, which we're trading at right now, I feel like that next pullback will be really, really interesting. Maybe a breaking test like that. We'll have to see. Depends on the break, depends on the pullback, but roughly something like that. If not, there might be some short-term sells, which we've discussed as well. I'm not really interested in the sells. I'm only looking to buy, really. But we are having a hard time breaking through the resistance so far. So yeah, so maybe we do see some downside for now, but I'm not interested. It's a similar situation as gold. We've seen a big breakout. We're probably going to retrace because it's the healthy thing the market does. After a big move, you retrace, but I don't think it's going to last for too long. So I do think we'll push through. Retail sales. Are you talking about CAD? Or are you talking about USD retail sales? Is that what we had last Friday as well? It might be retail sales as well. Chris, I'm not in a position at the moment waiting for setups to be areas of value. Good, man. Again, that's the patient element. Not every day is going to be a trading day. And some days just going to be sitting on your hands waiting for things to happen. And that could be today. Maybe you get an opportunity later on today. Maybe you don't. You just got to look at it from a longer term point of view. Try and look at your trading from a year's point of view, which is long, sometimes long, but if you can keep in the back of your mind that you're waiting to see what your P&L is or what your stats say by the end of the year, it means that from day to day, all you're trying to do is just take the right trades, make the right decisions. And if you can do that day on, day out, then you're in a very, very good position that by the end of the year, you'll be very proud with your achievements and how your trading has gone. And if you're not, then you can always review and see what you did not too well in a way you can improve your edge and so on and so forth. But if you kind of messed around and didn't follow your plan and did things you're not supposed to do, then, and if you're not happy with your results by the end of the year, then of course all you have to do is blame yourself. At least if you did everything you said you were going to do, you can then focus on the edge rather than try to sort yourself out, which is probably the more difficult thing to do. Yeah, USD retail sales. Was that Friday last week, Yadish, or Thursday? Can't remember. Still waiting to have good trades on Friday, but I closed them before the market closed. Okay. Do you not look to hold over the weekend, Lauder? Look to close trades before the weekend. I mean, I don't mind it. It can be a little bit annoying sometimes when you do get a gap against you. I've had that a few times, so I know what that's like. But then, okay, hold over the weekend sometimes. Yeah, I mean, in some conditions, it might make sense to say, example, you've got a really nice trade going and you're in a decent amount of profit. You can afford to hold over the weekend. Even if it does gap against you, you'll probably still be in profit. So that's a good situation. Maybe if price is at your entry or close to your stop loss, maybe that's not the best time to hold over the weekend, just because spreads will widen, so you could easily get tagged out the trade anyway. So it might be best to re-enter the following week. So I can understand that perspective. But when you're in some healthy profit and price has gone for you, you can always look to close some positions before the week closes out. But sometimes, even like the yen, for example, before the London session, price was already looking very, very bearish. And if you caught some nice shorts from last week, you'd be waking up a very happy guy today, or girl. So sometimes holding over the week can be good, or it can be frustrating. I mean, that's with any trade really. But yeah, if it's at your entry or at your close to your stop loss, then it might not be the best decision to do. But then it's each their own. Some people just don't like holding over the weekend at all. I can see why. Okay, Thursday. Yeah. Thursday's the one we had the big news. Yeah, you're right, Yedish. Because I remember I was on Nick's stream, and that's when gold was moving crazy. Hey, no problem, Vincent. Happy to have you on the stream. First live stream. Hey, thank you. Really impressed. Wicked. Appreciate that, man. Well, have a good day. I do go live every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So every weekday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. UK time. So if you're free, feel free to tag along. But I appreciate that message, my man. And yeah, guys, if you're enjoying the stream, finding it useful, please be sure to drop a like on the stream. It does really help out the streams, of course. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. It does help out the channel as well. And make sure you do hit the bell so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads. Whenever I do go live, I'll do upload a video. Because some people do be watching the streams unsubscribed. So let's rectify that. I think I just need to see a positive P&L for my week. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing too wrong with that as well. Sometimes it can be a hindrance, because sometimes you end up closing trades a little bit early, and then you just see them kind of rally in your favor, maybe to the target you previously had, but because you wanted to see a positive P&L for the week, you just close out. So sometimes it can be a hindrance, but then again, sometimes it can be really good just to bank the profit. So that week is positive, and then you start again next week. So what if the trade rallies to target? You've profitable for this week. Now you go again next week. So sometimes it's good to just to bank the profit and move on. It's a big game of cat and mouse. It's a big psychological game as well, and it definitely depends on the person and the situation you're in as well. Because sometimes if you're in drawdown, it could be a good idea just to bank the profit, move on, claw back some of that drawdown, and slowly progress. If you're not in drawdown and your equity curves at all-time highs, then you can be a bit more lenient with your trades and maybe give some extended targets just because you're at a high right now. So that's something you take into consideration as well. So yeah. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with profit. Nothing wrong with profit. Kingsley, I'm doing good. Hope you're well. Back again. Good to see you, my man. USDZAR, Eurozar. Okay, more sales on both. Haven't kept up to date with USDZAR, and I'm not too sure if I've ever looked at Eurozar. Maybe I have. I mean, if you requested me to look at Eurozar before, then maybe I have, but I've never looked at Eurozar for my own personal trading, but we will have a look-see. Chris, hey, appreciate it, my man. Let's put that on the big screen. Yeah, guys, if you are enjoying the stream, please be sure to drop a like, subscribe. All of that does really help out the streams. Do really appreciate each and everyone who does leave a like and subscribes to the channel. And of course, if you find it useful, yeah, why not? Why not? And also make sure you check out the Discord link for Elevating Traders. That's completely free to join. That will be linked at the top of the chat, so you cannot miss it. But there will be discount opportunities closer to launch, which is very fast upon us. So make sure you go check that out if you haven't done so already. But yeah, USDZAR, EUROZAR, we'll take a look. If I have missed out a pair, let me know as well. I cannot remember if I have. If I have missed out a pair, let me know. I like you to give some general trading advice. Just watching the streams to analyze charts it is good, but in the real world of pressing behind selling, it's a different ballgame. That is true. Facts. Real trading advice. Because analysis is one thing, trading is a different thing. Analysis, you can analyze a chart, but you might lack the mental toughness to trade, because when you analyze a chart, you can analyze a chart very well, but then when it comes to a trade, you might not have the grit to actually press buy or sell, like you just mentioned there. So you might miss trades. You might then end up taking a rubbish trade because you missed the trade you previously planned and all that stuff. I think the best trading advice I can give you is just be very, very detailed with your plan. I think the more detailed you are, the more you've tested your plan, the more you really put your plan to the sword, the better you will be for it, and the more success you'll see. Because when things are wishy-washy, when things are a little bit gray, and you've kind of got a plan, but you haven't really tested that well, you don't kind of really, know your entry requirements, but you don't really believe in them, then you're never going to see the results you want to see. You want to make sure that when you're taking a trade, you have ultimate confidence in that trade. Not that it will play out, that trade in particular, but you know that if you take this trade 50, 100 times, you will walk away with a profit, almost guaranteed. Okay, nothing's guaranteed, but you're pretty much guaranteed to walk away with a profit. If you can have that amount of confidence, and not blind confidence because you tested your plan a lot and you can see the results. So if you have that particular confidence, then you'll be very, very good in the markets, because you know exactly what you're looking for, and everything else just becomes noise. So if you see a bunch of people trading gold, for example, you don't feel the fear of missing out, because you know exactly what your plan says, and you're going to wait for that to happen. So yeah, I would say my advice is to know your strategy, know your edge better than anyone else. If you can have that attitude to your edge, to your trading strategy, you be in a really good place. Don't take testing lightly, because it's very easy to do so, because you're under pressure. You're just testing the strategy. No one's going to check up on you saying, "Are you testing the strategy well enough?" No one's going to do that. So be very vigilant. Be very detailed when you're testing the strategy, and know everything down to the T. That will help with your trade management. That will help with your psychology. That will help with your stop loss and take profit placement. Sometimes analyze it chart and trade it on a demo, and when on live account you can't take the trade. Yeah, that comes from like I said, the lack of confidence, lack of belief. And again, when I mean confidence and belief, I don't mean blind confidence as well. Not the fake it till you make it confidence. I mean the tried and tested confidence. But yeah, I mean that's the case, because the demos there's no stakes. So if you do something horrendous, it doesn't mean anything. Exactly, Chris. It doesn't mean anything, so you don't really have the conviction behind it. So yeah, you wait, because when you're trading, because for example, when I'm trading, I'm not really thinking, okay, I'm putting up this amount of money to trade. All I'm thinking is there's a trade opportunity. I already know my predefined risk. I put the risk up, take the trade, win, lose, or draw. I'm on to the next one, because my main focus is the setup. It's the strategy. That's my main focus. If your main focus is, okay, I've just put up $100 or $1,000 on a trade, then of course you're going to be thinking twice and sweating. You got to make sure the price action, the setup, the plan is the main focus. If you tick that box, the rest should follow. Not instantly. It takes time, but it will follow. Okay, let me look at USDZAR and EURZAR before I forget. Okay, so USDZAR, you're looking at more sells. It's a pretty big move that we had this week. Okay, so the market's kind of just topping out at this high here. So yeah, it does look like we're probably going to see more downsides for USDZAR at least. I'll go take a look at EURZAR afterwards. We've got a big low there, which looks like the market is trying to go and test. We have been very, very consistent with all these lower highs. One there, another one there, equal high there, another one there, equal high there as well. So all I can see is rejection and lower high. And of course, all the lower lows as well, as the market keeps pushing lower. So the likelihood of us coming to test this area here is pretty high. So if you're looking for shorts for USDZAR, you want to be seeing a pullback at least. Preferably this would be nice, but we may not get there. So I'll probably say keep an eye on this area. Keep an eye on both. But the plan is to look for that next lower high and look for the continuation. If we have a bigger pullback, then this would be a really nice area, 18.15. If not, we might just come back and retest the low here and then be on our way. But either which way, there's a lot of bearish momentum and we're very, very consistent with the lower highs. So the market wants to go bullish, we would have just broke through that high and kept going, but we didn't. So yeah, that's where I'm expecting price to end up next, and then maybe we push high from there. But yeah, I do think USDZAR will keep pushing down. Keep an eye on those areas for some retest, 18.1 and 17.9. In terms of EURZAR, yeah, I might not have looked at EURZAR before. I mean, EURZAR is probably going to do something similar to USDZAR. Very similar pairs, of course. Again, this one pretty consistent with the lower highs there too. It looks like it's just printed another one. There's probably a very high chance we get back to the low here. So yeah, you want to be looking for some short opportunities. Of course, as we approach the low, now's not the best time for that. It would be nice if we can get back to the high here. This is where we've seen a lot of rejection previously, over there, over there. So something like this could be a nice short there. But we may not see that. So I would say keep an eye on this area here. Brief consolidation. We broke to the downside with some nice momentum. Could be a situation where we tag that and then see some downside. Or I think maybe worst case scenario, a breaking test of that low. And that could be a trade. So either 20.03, 19.85, or 19.6. But yeah, I'm expecting price to end up at that low. So the idea is to try and catch that next lower high wherever it forms, whether we have a bigger pullback or a pullback to this area or a breaking retest. The idea is to look for that next lower high. Same with USDZAR as well. But yeah, in my eyes, I'll expect more sells. So yeah, I'm very much with you on that one. Back to 19.2. How many switches of the account should one risk on a trade? Good question. It depends. It depends really. It depends if the account is personal. Depends if you're trading for a prop firm. Depends if you're trading with someone else's money. I would say anything between 0 and 2% is a healthy amount. Of course, above 0. Anything in that kind of area, 0.5%, 0.25%, 1%, 1.5%, 2%. I feel like that's a really nice area to work in, where it's going to take a lot of successive losses for you to blow that account. If you're risking 1% per trade, theoretically, it would take you even more than 100 trades to actually lose that account. Because if you're risking 1% of the account per trade, the monetary value will decrease the more you lose, because 1% of the new account value will be less. So it'll probably take you like 120 to lose to blow up the count. And that'll be 120 consecutive losses, which is almost impossible. You will win a trade accidentally, even if you don't know what you're doing. So I think 1% is very, very good. 2% is good, of course. Of course, you're going to have a bit less room to play with, but 2% is a healthy amount. I think anything above 2% you can do, maybe 3%, maybe 4%, but you're definitely going to be in a situation where when you do go through drawdown, which will happen, say for example you're risking 4% per trade. You go through a losing streak of 10 trades, which is reasonable as well. You're down 40%, so that can be very, very, very telling on the mind. Again, 40% isn't the end of the world, but maybe mentally it might be difficult for you to cope there. So you have to take that into consideration. So I think starting out anything 2% and below is healthy. Preferably one if you haven't really found your feet yet. I think 1 and below is healthy. If you found your feet and you want to maybe be a bit more aggressive, then 2. Anything more than 2, you have to be very, very self-aware, because when you do go for drawdown, and you will, everything is just a lot bigger. Same with the profit as well. You'll make bigger profits as well, and that could affect you too. So you have to be aware of that. And then if you're trading on a prop firm account, of course, you have to respect the rules of the prop firm as well. So maybe 0.5% will be more appropriate. Depends what the rules of the firm, of course. But if it's a personal account, I think 2% below is good. I mean, that'll be up to you to decide, but I think 2% below is healthy. 3, again, could be a nice amount, but be aware of that drawdown. Euro pound, I will take a look. Kingsley, no problem. I have the same sentiments for both Euro and USDs are nice. Yeah, I think things are adding up a lot. The lower highs look good. We're seeing a lot of momentum. Very high chance that they both just continue falling. So if you can see a bit of a pullback somewhere, shorts look good. I would say though, if you trade, I don't know if you traded USDs or Euros before, the swaps for them are quite high, particularly, of course, when you're selling. Actually, no. Yeah, when you're selling, you get positive swap. When you're buying, you get negative swap. So yeah, if you're selling and you hold overnight, you're in a good place because you're going to get some decent swaps and it'll be positive. So even if you take a trade and it goes break even, but you hold it overnight, probably still walk away for decent profit because of the swaps. If you're buying USDR, then you're going to have some really big negative swaps, and sometimes it's not even, because that's why I stopped trading exotics, because of the swaps. Because I used to hold my trades a lot more, hold my trades a lot longer back then, and it didn't really make much sense. So if I was holding USDR for like 5 days, even if I had a decent profit, it took away half of it, so I just stopped trading them. But yeah, if you're selling, you'll be in positive swap, so that's good. Okay, so let me go to Euro Pound. Okay, so yeah, Euro Pound, this was an interesting one. We're trading at a pretty big level, or almost 0.85, which is this level here. So yeah, I do think we're in an area where we could bounce for Euro Pound. I'm not going to really talk about anything longer term because I don't want to be so nitpicky with this one. So I'm not really a big fan of the price action, but I do think 0.85 is a really nice level to trade from. It was resistance over there, support there, support there, support there, and support over there. So it's a really nice level. I liked how we pull back as well. To me, it looks like we have come back at least to the 50, I want to say. Yeah, we have pulled back to the 50, 0.618, just below us there as well. So we're looking for a bounce here and a continuation. If this is a nice bull flag pattern, which I'm kind of anticipating it to be, then this is of course a nice place for a buy. Best case scenario, you get the breakout and price rises back to the high. or maybe this point here. But yeah, euro pound to me looks like a really nice trade idea. And I think 0.85, big psychological level, big level support resistance anyway. If you can see some nice rejection there, I feel like that's a nice place for a buy. And depending how far you want to take it, you've got a few targets there to aim for as well. So yeah, euro pound will be bullish. And looking for buys at 0.85. Yes, elevating trades will launch very, very soon. We're looking at the start of September. We're just dotting the I's and crossing the T's at the moment, but we're starting to do a lot more promotion approaching the end of August. But yeah, elevating trades will be launched very, very soon. And we'll be launching with a 1-step, 2-step, and 3-step challenge as well. It was originally just going to be the 2-step, and then we're going to implement the 1 and 3 later on. But it seems to be that the 1 and 3 is pretty popular. So so yeah, we've managed to start with all 3, and we're looking for launching right at the start of September. So that's the plan at the moment. But yeah, we'll be doing some promotions on social media for the launch to celebrate the launch. So if you guys are following us on social media, you will be aware of that. If not, make sure you do go and do that. I don't think. Yeah, I'll put the links in my description so you guys can't miss it. I'm not too sure if it's there already. If it is there, go check it out. If it's not there, I'll make sure it's there for the next stream. But yeah, there'll be some launch discounts to celebrate the launch. So do keep an eye on that, guys. But I'm very excited to get the ball rolling with elevating traders. No problem, Chris. Happy to help. And so you still work in support with funding pips? So you've been doing that for a while now. How is your USD doing? Okay, it's failing at the high. Just looking for some retracement on these guys. How's dollar doing? Okay. There we go. So yeah, dollar's broken through the low. I've got a feeling we're probably going to do something like this soon, which is what I'm looking for in euro. But and dollar CAD as well. I feel like I do want to see some upside for USD just because I just want to see that retracement. Again, I'm very, very bearish on USD. I do think a big move is on the cards for it to the downside. I just want to see some strength to start things off. And it does look like the yen pairs probably might see a move higher. Maybe that 165 move for William is on the card still, because we're struggling at these lows right now. We've left a bit of a wick to the downside in pretty much all of the yen pairs. Swiss yen, bit of a wick there to the downside. Dollar yen, bit of a wick. Aussie wick. Euro wick. New Zealand yen wick. Right at the low of the channel as well. Pound yen, we left a big wick there as well. CAD yen likewise too. So maybe the yen pairs are going to have a bigger move. I wasn't too sure after that move this morning. I thought maybe I've missed the boat with the yen pairs really. But I don't know. Maybe they are going to push higher. I still like New Zealand yen the most. So that's the one I'm going to concentrate on. We are rejecting the low still. Let's see if we can maintain that. Because there's still a long way to go before I do get involved. I'm looking for the retest of that point there. And again, hopefully maybe a swing to the low, but we'll see. So I have to be patient for that, but it looks to me that New Zealand yen is struggling. to break lower. So yeah, maybe I can catch the low there. How is pound CHF doing? Yeah, so pound CHF is just still in the range. There's not much I can do with that really, because in the range, sure we might see some nice bearish engulfing, sure we might see some rejection, but what you can expect for the range is just to push back to the low end. So even if this does close with a nice bearish engulfing candle, it's like great, but we could just see a wick back to the low and push up again. So the entry doesn't become useful. If we can wick to the upside and take up the highs there, now that is useful. That tells me that we kind of faked out a bunch of traders prior to that, and now I can use that to my advantage and expect a move down. Because effectively, if you are selling the market, your aim is to sell higher than other sellers. That's in theory what you're looking to do. Sell higher than other sellers, and if you're a buyer, looking to buy lower than other buyers. So waiting for a big fake out means not only will we are selling a little bit higher, but the people who got into the trade previously, they would have been liquidated. So that plays into my hands very nicely. And especially in a range setting where the market's kind of flat and equilibrium, and it's kind of waiting for something to happen, where the news or whatever, or the next session, like the New York session, a fake out could really play into your hands very nicely. So pound CHF still looks like a really good sell. I like where it's trading at that low. I just need price to develop a little bit more. How are we in terms of the fib? Okay, we're trading in between the 0.5, 0.618. Not quite at that moving average there on the daily. I think this is the 50. Yes, it is. It's broken above in the 4 hour. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'm not expecting the CHFS to be anything crazy. Best case scenario, you do get swing to the low, but I kind of think we'll go halfway and then see something like that happen. And again, even if you do push halfway, could still be looking at a comfortable 1 to 3, 1 to 4, 1 to 5 maybe. Doesn't have to be the full swing for me to walk away with for profit, which used to be my Achilles heel back in the day, because I would have such big targets because I was really, really focused with high risk reward. But it was really, really difficult to trade that way, having big targets like 1 to 5, 1 to 6, 1 to 7s, and not take partials and not manage the trade anyway. It's kind of like I take the trade, put the stop loss in, put the take profit in, and kind of just wait to see what happens. It's very, very hard to see that out consistently because you have long periods of drawdown and you have very few winners. Of course, when the winners do happen, they make up for it. But as a swing trader, you could go easily 3, 4, 5 months in drawdown, and then only in the 6th month you claw back out of it. And psychologically, that could be very, very difficult to trade consistently, because you're doing all of that effort just to be in drawdown for half the year, which could happen to anyone. But trading like that with big risk rewards and no other management in terms of partial trading stops means that price has to get to your target for you to make a profit. And there'll be many times where price will get 80, 90% of the way, 95% of the way even, just to turn around against you. So you're going to get rid of all of that profit just because it didn't go an extra 10 pips. It doesn't really make too much sense there. So that's why taking partials was a really big tool for me, because that kind of helped me find consistency. I used to take half of my profit at a 1 to 1.5. So when I was 1.5 hour in profit, I'll take half of my profit and leave the rest to run to like a 3 or a 4. But taking half my profit at the 1.5 R, made sure I was just banking profit. It wasn't anything crazy, but I made sure I was just banking profit along the way, and really helped my psychology as well. All right, no problem, Sculpey. Have a good one, my man. Wagwan. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow though, bro. I know you don't even trade on Mondays either, but still blessed us with your grace, mate. But yeah, taking partials can be very, very helpful. Of course, it does mean that that you don't always get the full risk reward of your trade. Because if you're aiming for 1 to 5 and then you take half at 1.15 or 1 or 2, it does mean that you will bank less, but at least you're banking profit. All right, no problem. I don't know. To be fair, I think he's setting up a business, so I think he's very busy. He's setting up like a store, so I think he's got a lot of management to do with that. Hey, what's up, Feisty Tom? Welcome to the stream. Hope you are well. Any pairs you're looking at, feel free to let us know. I think Pound CHF for me is the only one that is at a level that could give me an entry. Euro USD looks great. Pound USD looks great. New Zealand yen looks great. Dollar CAD looks good as well. Euro NZD looks good. Gold looks good, but they're just not trading at my areas at the moment. But Pound CHF is trading at a pretty sturdy low, so we'll see what we can do. Yeah, he's building up sample store. So yeah, that will take a lot of his time, I'd imagine. Especially a physical store as well. It's not like an online store, which is you can automate a lot. Physical stores, a lot of movement components. So you have physical goods, actual employees. So that's going to take a bit more energy there. An online one you could probably do yourself. Looking at GU and Aussie CAD for longs. Okay, shared on Discord. Nice. So yeah, GU, I'm with you on that one 100%. Oh, and gold as well. Yeah, GU and gold, I'm with you 100%. I really like GU. Yeah, I think I saw your setups on the weekend, actually. I like GU a lot. I think this is probably the same opportunity you marked up on the Discord as well. So I'm looking for that one as well. And I'm looking at a similar one on gold. I think my level is a little bit higher to you, but I'm looking for that too. Gold is making a bit of a move down right now. Looking very bearish. But yeah, looking for some longs in gold. Aussie CAD I'm not a big fan of, but I can see the longs for that one too. The market's making higher highs and higher lows. Pretty nice swing this morning. So it has left behind some nice support for some longs as well. I can get on board with that as well. But gold and pound are on my watch list. All right, no problem, Lauda. Have a good one. Go prepare some lunch for yourself. We'll see you tomorrow. Pleasure to have you. Running low on some water. But yeah, gold and pound I do like for longs. But yeah, gold is looking a tad bearish today, which is good because I want to see some retracement. We had a really nice breakout on Friday. Yeah, really nice breakout on Friday after the stream. So now I just want to see price correctly pull back, take a bit of a breather, looking for a retest and some upside. So if we get to 2480 today, which is the level here, I'll be very closely looking at gold. I mean, my trading window is from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. So if gold gets to that level and it's after 5 p.m., then I'll have to chalk it up for the day and come back tomorrow to see how things are looking. But yeah, I do like what I'm seeing there with gold. On the same boat, love to see it. Watching live from Ghana, West Africa, wicked. Where are people watching the stream from? Put it in the chat. Which country, if you want to, of course, are you watching from? Let's see where people are watching from. It's been a long time since I've done that. I know there's a lot of people from South Africa, a lot of people from Kenya, Nigeria, India, of course the UK, a bit of the States as well, although it's a bit awkward from the States because it's going to be early in the morning for them. But there's still a few people from the States as well. Australia as well, New Zealand. Yeah, possibly could get gold either today or Tuesday. Yeah, I'm hoping more for Tuesday because I think if it is today, it might kind of set up outside of my trading hours. So I'm hoping we kind of slowly push down and maybe get it tomorrow morning. But we'll have to see. Beggars can't be choosers, of course. But yeah, we are seeing a bit of momentum this morning, so I don't know. Maybe it is today. Is dollar looking strong? Not really. A little bit, but nothing crazy. Kenya in here, End Town as well. End Town's the whole country in itself. Northampton. I've never been to Northampton before. Is it worth visiting, Scolpy? Is End Town worth visiting? It's a very slow Monday. Yeah, you could probably say that. I mean, FX wise, not really moving much. I mean, a bit of consolidation here and there. Okay, that goes for everyone. Do not visit End Town. Yeah, I mean, it never was really on my radar, to be fair, of places to visit in the UK. I just wondered maybe should I add it, but yeah, I make sure I will not add that to the places I should visit then. Nice countryside. See, I do like the countryside. I think when I'm older, I'll probably live somewhere in the countryside. If I'm still in the UK. Zoom's profit taking gold. There's a lot of people watching. Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, because 2,500 would be the next like big psych level. Because of course, after we break through the high on gold, there's no kind of other area which you would take profit at because these are all-time highs, of course. So it makes a lot of sense to be taking profit at 2,500, especially if you put yourself in the mindset of some of the bigger players, the bigger sharks in the ocean. If you had some big buys in, where would you take profit? If it was not at the high here, it probably would be 2,500. You've just broken through 2K early in the year, which was back over there. So the next big stop after 2K would be 2,500. So yeah, I can definitely get on board with that. It looks like price is dancing around there too. Visit Ghana. Okay, we've got an advocate for Ghana now. To be fair, Ghana has been on the watch list, to be honest. Hoping we can get a trade this week. Be nice to be back in the game. Hands been going numb. Yeah, I can imagine. So when you're on the sidelines for a couple of weeks, probably get itchy feet a little bit. But yeah, I mean, again, as traders, all we can do is just sit and wait and hope that a good opportunity comes. And if it does come, we're there to strike. We're there to strike. All right, no problem, William. Have a good one, man. We'll see you on the morrow. We'll see you tomorrow. So yeah, for me, pound CHF is my main guy. Gold, maybe, I don't know if it keeps it up. Maybe I'll be looking at that one more closely as well. But the setup is self-explanatory. They're looking at the break and retest. So if it gets there, we'll see what we can do as long as we're within my trading hours. I'll see what I can do. But hopefully, we can find a nice little buyer there. And of course, pound CHF shorts too. Waiting to enter the new chapter of my life. Yeah. Good man. Good man. I mean, that's what you have to do. You have to wait for it to come to you. Because otherwise you'd be forcing things to happen. You might be moving out of place of desperation, which isn't good. Nothing normally comes out good from a place of desperation, especially trading. DXY to 101 on the daily. What's your take? My take is I agree with you wholeheartedly. I do think 101 is likely to be our next destination, which is this low here on the daily chart. We've taken out some key lows here on the left. Market's been pretty consistent now for lower lows and lower highs, and we've been slowly gaining momentum to the downside there as well. I'm looking at dollar on the higher time frames too, and to me, it just looks like prices rejected the highs up here, and now we're likely going to push back to support down there. And the next big psychological level is 101. So that's where I do see us pushing into. At a nice close last week as well. So I do think we'll probably keep falling. So yeah, I really agree with you there, Tom. I think we'll probably keep falling. So my plan is just to try and find opportunity to ride that wave. Whether it might be shorting dollar CHF, it might be long in euro, it might be long in pound, might be long in gold, or it might be long in silver. Either one of those bad boys looks good for a trade. And I'm very, very bearish on USD. I'm not looking to take any trades that are pro dollar, really. Dollar strength. So, yeah. Would you consider trading a different kind of gambling? I mean, gambling's different. Gambling comes from a place where there's no preparation. You kind of just trading off a whim or an inkling that price or something might do something. Trading is very systematic. You've got an edge and you're waiting for that edge to play out a longer time. It's basically what the house does, or what the gambling companies, the betting companies do to the better. Because you understand that on average, the clients you have that come to bet at your betting store, your betting whatever, you know that over the long run they're going to lose money. So you're happy to take their bets and pay out their wins, because if they keep betting, you know that eventually they will lose their money. So that's how the betting companies are so profitable, because they know that over the long run we're probably going to win here. Maybe a few are going to win, maybe, but on average, in general, most will lose. And we're kind of that sort of person in trading, because we understand that with our edge, sure, we will lose trades from time to time, as you expect, as same with the betting companies. But we know that if we just play our cards right with our edge, that we should make a profit in the long run. So I don't really see trading as gambling in the same light, because of that idea. because gambling, you're not really preparing yourself. I might think someone's going to win a race, and then I just put a bet on. But trading is, you studied all their previous races. You studied all the previous races of all other competitors in that same race, and you've put together a formula of what most likely will happen in a race on average. And then you can formulate a bias from that. That's what we do with the markets. So there's no whim or feelings involved. It's absolutes. Appreciate that, Tom. Amen. Raise the frequency and let the universe provide. Yeah, it is speculation at the end of the day. Gambling with knowledgeable E. I don't understand. Gambling with a knowledgeable E. Trading's not gambling, it's buying and selling. I mean, some people like to call trading gambling. I mean, I don't really care. Call it gambling or don't call it gambling. It's my profession, so you can call it what you want. You can call it knitting for all I care. As long as I can make a profit, I'm good. Yeah, I like that. Gambling is jumping without a net. True. You don't need any textbook to gamble. And again, I've got friends that do like to bet now and again, but they do it purely out of fun. Purely out of fun. They're like they understand that they're not here to make a profit. If they do make a profit, great, beautiful. But they're just doing it out of excitement to place a bet. Just like trading, when you do place a trade, you do get that kind of dopamine boost. Or I'm not really too knowledgeable about that side of biology, but I do understand that when you do take a trade, you do get a bit of a buzz. You're like, okay, is this trade going to play or is it going to lose? And you do get that same kind of buzz when you do place a gamble or a bet in sport or whatever. So that's the reason why people do like gambling, do like placing the bets, because it does make them kind of, give them that kind of feeling, if that's the right word. But they're well aware that they probably will lose money in the long run, and that they're okay with it. As long as they're not betting with their life savings, they don't mind to lose a bit of money here and there. All right, no problem, Sculpey. Have a good one, man. We'll catch you tomorrow. Yeah, the mindset is a big one as well. Mindset is a big one. Again, trading, there's a lot of preparation. There's a lot of preparation that goes into trading. A lot of preparation. Like I said, the more you know your strategy, the better trade you will be for it. If you kind of just, half-heartedly know your strategy, then you'll get half-hearted results. If you know your strategy like the back of your hand and you know what you're looking for, the correct condition on the market, how you want to enter, everything like it's your last name, then you'll be in a very good place to perform well. Being that's a profitable edge, of course, but you'll be in a very, very good place to perform well. And that's because you put the time, the effort, you put yourself in a good place. Psychology-wise, you're in a good place. Mindset is in a good place. Then you can perform. But yeah, some people always call trading gambling, and I think trading does have that kind of look at it as like from people on the outside. Because if you tell someone that you trade, they probably will kind of think risky gambling. And to an extent, they're right. There is risk with trading. Anything can happen at any point. You could see a market flash crash, and that could be very, very terrifying. But then, life's risky. No one makes out alive anyway. That's the way I look at it. But trading's not for everyone, of course. Trading's not for everyone. Some people, don't like that, and I fully understand why you wouldn't. But then if trading's for you, then go for it. Just make sure you put the work, you put the effort behind it. And keep at it, and you will be rewarded eventually. Some people will get it faster than others, but just make sure you put your 100% behind it. Anyway, guys, we have come up to the end of the stream. I will be live again Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So you have me this week. So if you guys are free, between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m. UK time, make sure you pop into another stream. If you have found the stream useful, enjoyed it, informative, educational, please be sure to leave a like on the stream. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Join the fam. And of course, make sure you do hit the bell so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. Guys, I really appreciate everyone coming onto the stream today. Like I said, we'll be live again this week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So I hope to see all of you on the streams there as well. Make sure you join the Discord for Elevating Traders, completely free to join. That is a link to the top of the chat. I do have my Telegram in the links below as well, so make you check that out too. But guys, really do appreciate you coming onto the stream. Have a good one. Thank you to my moderators as well, and I'll catch you all tomorrow.